Rodney Williams wants to represent District 2 on Charleston City Council one more time. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with Rodney one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores.
Rodney.
Hey, Quintin, how you doing?
I'm doing just great here.
Good, doing well.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, the big news right now is the filing for re-election for most of your Charleston City Council members.
Yes.
And that includes you.
Yes, yesterday me and my family filed, and we're proud to be able to state our case in District 2. We have supported 100% of everything, the revitalization of West Ashley. We spent $76 million to include the West Ashley Senior Citizen Center, the beautification of West Ashley, drainage projects, as well as I was able to get speed bumps and calming signals from many of my neighborhoods. We're proud to state our case. We have 100% attendance. As the chairman of the Public Works Committee, that's one of the most significant committees in the city of Charleston, because we're going through a new phase of what we talk about resiliency. Mayor Bloomberg said a state of denial can be a city's worst enemy. And this mayor and this council, we're not denying that in the next 20 years, we're going to have more flooding, more resiliency problems. So we're stating that case now. As we go over the moratorium in Church Creek Basin, you'll see a lot of things that the city will be doing for the future of this city and resiliency in terms of more flooding and more flooding and rain that will come, the seawall that we're doing at the Battery. All this is significant to what we're doing, changing the script of the city, developing a better quality of life for the city. But I'm so proud that I have over 1,500 emails since I've been elected in District 2 and my response to my district. When I got elected 4 years ago, my district was adamant, give you an opportunity. We want a city councilman that can serve our district, whether it's Ms. Smith calling me 7:30 in the morning for a garbage can, or whether it's Ms. New calling me about the daughter's late. I have been on the job, and we're excited about stating our case. But the most important thing about this election is having the right focus on the future of this city. The future of this city is the quality of life for all of the city, particularly for West Ashley. In about 10 years, we'll have over 90,000 people living in West Ashley. We've got to get prepared for the rooftops and the things that are necessary to give them a quality of life. I'm so happy that we have finally approved the West Ashley Circle, Harris Teeter Shopping Center, and bike path.
Right.
That is going, and bike trail. It's going to be important. It's important that we get the amenities and the road construction into West Ashley now for a better quality of life. West Ashley is probably one of the most beautiful places to live, but here's the problem. 96% of the people who travel in West Ashley, their number one mode of transportation is a car. You can't put everybody out of a car, and you shouldn't, but that's a tremendous amount of people driving for a city that is rapidly growing. So we've got to have access to other means of transportation, whether that's Uber, whether that's bikes, whether that's transit. And this is the connectivity that we're trying to do with the asset pennies tax that's coming in. Bring more people on and off of the buses. We're happy to announce that the West Ashley Library is now going to be built on Walcott Boulevard. So we're excited about that, but the most important thing for me is being able to get out and state the case of why I am asking the constituents of District 2 for a re-election. That is to continue my work as chairman of Public Works, continue this resiliency thing that we're doing in the city, and making sure that our heads are not in the sand for being realistic about more flooding, more rain. Another thing that we're going to be looking at is this major question. A lot of developers are coming before us and asking us to build on wetlands. But as people are aware of, the Corps of Engineers give wetland permits. But now we have to take a closer look. Should anything be built in certain parts of West Ashley in the floodplain? These are the things that this study that we're doing right now, that will end up in December, the moratorium. So it's really critical that we do this, but we are just so happy and so pleased that we have been able to state the case. I think that's what you do. When you're an elected official, once you serve, you have a record. You have a record to defend that record, and you got to go out to those people in every neighborhood. There's not a neighborhood that will not be knocked on from 6 weeks ago when we've started until November 7th. We'll continue to go and state the case of our service. 100% attendance. City Council has 48 meetings.
Right.
24 City Council meetings, 24 committee meetings. In 4 years, I've never missed one.
Wow.
And that's being accountable. That's being held accountable for the position that you told the people. And the position is a public service position. It is a servant leadership position. I'm taking that. We're excited about it.
You talk about your 4 years on council. Tell me this, what is the biggest difference between 4 years ago to right now in your mind?
The biggest difference is 4 years ago and right now is the impact of 30 years ago development. 30 years ago, we had what you call the Downtown Revitalization Commission.
Right.
And that, when you look at what that has done 30 years,
Right.
and now we started the West Ashley Revitalization, it's like day and night. The transformation of the city of Charleston, when the Charleston Place was built 30 years ago, is tremendous. I've never seen such a city rapidly develop itself. We do see the cranes, we do see the airport, the hotels,
Right.
but what people don't realize is 30 years ago, Spoleto, the Charleston Place, it created this atmosphere. This atmosphere did not fall from the sky. People come here from all around the world and see this as a place that they want to live. As I knock on doors in neighborhoods, I see retired professional people from all over the world living in District 2. So the biggest difference is the transformation. It's unbelievable. Remember, I born 116 Fishburne Street.
Right.
I went to A.B. Red.
Right.
I went to Mitchell. I went to Brook High School.
Yes.
Now when I go in the city, sometimes to me is I'm looking up instead of down. A tremendous impact. But what it has done now is we now have to change the focus. West Ashley gives the city an opportunity for some of its other issues, like affordability, like transportation. West Ashley is able to do this, but what we have to be careful for is that we have enough tool in the toolbox to not let housing escalate so fast. One of the things I want to work on is, can we speed up our permitting process? Developers are saying to me, the problem is if I buy the land, it takes so long to get through all the process, I have to put that price on the consumer. We have to find a way to expedite both the federal and the state, the federal as well as our department, the permitting part of the city, how to expedite this process. Because if the development stays in the hopper, that price goes out. And price point right now in West Ashley, I'm concerned with, is $315,000, single family houses. We have Ashley Place, West Ashley, $1,200. So this bond referendum on November 7th for $20 million, it's important for the CDC office. The fee in lieu that we just did is very important. Trying to work with Senator Marlon Kimpson with a new law that would give us another opportunity. We have to put all kinds of tools in the boxes because 47 people move here a day.
Sure.
It's impacting the quality of life of the people who live here, and I think that's critical. We got to use West Ashley as a model point. The West Ashley revitalization that's the key. It is the key as we move forward to that, put in place. But remember, the $76 million that we spent, that's money that was spent. We also got approved a $69 million tax increment finance, a TIF district.
Oh, right.
So we're waiting on that. So we're right where we want to be at. I would like to see how this city in the future rolls off after 20 years of the West Ashley revitalization implication, how it would go. It's just a fascinating time to be a part of the city. It's a fascinating time to work with Mayor Tecklenburg and members of council. And if I can't stress it enough, we're excited about going into District 2 and stating our case. We think we have a powerful case of constituent service and a powerful case of a global regional mindedness of how we look at this city as a whole. It's not West Ashley versus downtown.
Okay.
It's a city within a city, and we've got to push a quality of life for all.
Let me take you to some headline news. This was the headline from the Charleston City paper. Research firm names free candidates to conduct racial bias audit of Charleston Police Department. And as you know, the free candidates currently under consideration, according to this Charleston City paper, by the Public Safety Committee are RTI International, Dr. Jeff Rojic of the University of Texas at El Paso, and Dr. Robin Engel of the University of Cincinnati. Are you satisfied?
I'm very much satisfied. I'm not on the Public Safety
Right.
Committee, but my clear understanding is that two of those firms did our national search for both the police department and the fire department last year. What is important to me, what is very important to me, is that every side of the public debate
Right.
is heard about the next leaders, he or she who will lead the city and the fire and police department. That's important to me. We're going to get top candidates, but I want to make sure that there's transparency in the public, having the public have an input. The number one input for me is the person who can continue the buy-in. We've had a police department, thankfully, that the community respected, the community gave a lot of input, of buy-in, and that he or she must lead with those buy-ins, consistently building bridges between policemen and citizens. That's real important, and making sure that if there's anything, any sign of any biases that we are doing, if the only bias should ever be done in law enforcement is biases against people who commit crimes. Judicial freedom should be for every citizen. Every citizen should have the right to be free. And that's, to me, that's the most important thing. And we're not practicing biases, because the only bias should be if somebody commit a crime. But law-abiding citizens should have their liberties. Their liberties should never be restrained. And when you buy into that, then you buy into public safety for all. Because, Quintin, the only thing we know that we swear to do is police protection, fire protection. Whether you believe it or not, perception becomes reality. And once those perceptions are breaking down, that you don't have that, that's what we got to work. So the next man or woman must take that mantle and not be afraid to talk to any group that has any concerns. And I've always said this, any group that has any concern, our practices must not be biased toward people who are not committing a crime. I clearly understand that.
And obviously, really a mile away from here, we had the big debate over the horse carriages on Saturday. As you know, and this is according to the Charleston City paper, the Charleston Carriage Horse Advocates, CHA, are a welfare-based organization addressing the treatment of carriage horses and mules in Charleston. Where are we with this debate right now, Your Honor?
Well, I had an opportunity this year to talk to some of the people in the industry that run the horses and some of the advocates. There's a trend out there that's saying that no horse should be put under this carriage. There's part of people saying we should stop this altogether. That's just what people are saying, and I think in some states they have. When you look at Florida and other places, they have it. The question here is the balance between the carriage owners and their right to their horses and what people see as inhumane. I think that those are the issues that you have to balance, like testing the blood of horses. Well, that's something I don't know if you can mandate the owners to do. We lowered the temperature, but to ask me the question, has the industry reached its margin utilities to use horses like that? I can't answer that. But should we have a balance? Yes, we should have the safety of the horses should come first. Where you put the safety of the horse. And I think the industry has been, in my opinion, very responsive, but there is a push to ban this totally. And I think the direction I see the city is going in is that we're working with both sides, but we're working with the industry to ensure that the safety of the horses is at its highest level. And I honestly think that they're doing that. But there's just been a big push in this area and in this country. I think they try to outlaw it in New York. I didn't know how far it goes, but every state that I studied, Florida still has it, New York still has it. But again, it is a business. It is a very profitable business, and it's a part of the fabric. Carriage rides is a part of the fabric of some southern states. So the debate is still out. If you should ban this altogether, that debate is still out, and there's just a group of people who feel that way. when you listen to the veterinarians, the doctors, and the experts, you get varied opinion about how this. But the bottom line is that some people believe that this industry should be banned. I don't feel that way. I just don't feel that way.
From downtown Charleston to Wagner Terrace, as you know, there's a debate right now about the Longboard Park, and a lot of people are concerned about the no trespassing sign there. When you think of that, what sticks out to you?
Well, first of all, the sign, in my opinion, the sign should come down. Every public street has a right that every citizen can walk that street and take a part of the public realm. That part, I raised up back there, that street used to go back there. That's a public realm. It is my clear understanding that 2 years ago, when we were going to take the property through eminent domain, is that we were going to try to work with the neighborhood association and get this done. And I think there still could be an opportunity to get this done. But in my opinion, that's the public realm. And the public has a right to have shared access with the respect for the people who live there. I respect the people who live there, but that's the public realm. And I think we had a right when we took it into the domain, and we have a right to make sure that it's a part of the public realm, but we've got to do it in a way that we all can work together. And it was my understanding that we were maybe not too far off, but that's not my district, but I'm sure those who represent, we got to get back in there. But to answer your question, that's the public realm. That's the public realm. People, if you don't live in Charleston anymore, and you lived on Fishburne Street, you lived all the other street, that was a public realm that people went to the craft, people went to the walk. It was never just a place. I can remember that as going back there when there were apartments back there to our friends. It was always a public realm, and I think it was responsible of the city to do what we did, but we got to work it out, and hopefully the lawyers and the neighborhood association, we can really work it out. It could be an asset to all the public.
Well, Councilman Rodney Williams, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.